FMTV.
Welcome to Faith Ministries, reaching people, discipling nations. My name is Winnet Muroyiwa, and this morning I have Auntie Stella in the studio. How are you, Auntie Stella?
I'm very well, thank you, Winnet, and how are you?
I'm very fine.
Good.
Can you tell us the organization you're coming from?
I'm coming from the prison ministry of Faith Ministries Church. This is the arm of Faith Ministries Church that deals with outreach to the people who have been incarcerated. In various ways, our outreach is showing them the love of Christ and also helping with other social and health issues while they are in prison.
Wonderful. Okay. So I would like to talk about reintegration. Can you please briefly enlighten us? What exactly is reintegration?
Reintegration, on broad terms, reintegration is when somebody goes out of a system and then they have to come back and be accepted in that system and be able to fit in exactly as they were before. In cases of inmates, this is when somebody has been imprisoned for a while, sometimes up to a period of 10 years, sometimes even more or less, depending on the crime that they have committed. And they have to come back either to the society that they've offended against, or even if they offended outside that society, but their society knows, their community knows that this person has actually been in prison, they've been away, and they even know the type of crime. So for them to be able to come back and fit in and be loved and accepted in that community.
Okay. So since you have been working with inmates for quite some time, are there any challenges when these ex-inmates are now reintegrating in the society?
Yes, there are plenty of challenges in that as human beings. We are very judgmental, and also there's the issue of stigma.
Okay.
Especially depending on what crime you have committed, and more so even for women, because women are supposed to be these frail, nice people who do not offend. When they come back, some people would say, what kind of a woman is this, who commits a crime and has been to prison? And then many people are sometimes afraid, depending on the type of crime that this person has committed. If, say, they've murdered somebody or they've raped somebody, many people will actually be afraid to associate with them, and they label them and give them a name to say, that person, he has been to prison. Even sometimes when they are explaining to say so and so, instead of saying Johnny Chikaure or whatever, they'll say that John who has been to prison, who was in prison for 10 years. So yeah, there are a lot of challenges. Okay. And then some of them as well, when they come back, some of them maybe were professionals before, or they were making a living for their families. When they come back, they find it difficult to find jobs.
Okay.
Because many people then don't trust them to employ them, or just by virtue of them having been in prison, they find it difficult to start making a living again. That has probably been the biggest challenge.
Okay.
Yes.
So what do you think is the role of the society, or does the society even have a role to play in the rehabilitation of these inmates when reintegrating?
Yes, society has a very big problem. A very big part to play.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
In that, except society also needs to be educated right now. But people we know, like us, like even ZPC as itself, for them to send out, to do outreaches into communities, to teach people that these people, when they're in prison, they've been rehabilitated, they've been taught the right way. And give them another chance, please. Because if you don't give them another chance, they will re-offend and then come back to prison. So society has a big part to play in accepting people who have been in prison, teaching them the right things to do, so that they do not re-offend.
Okay. What about the church or Christianity? Does it have a role to play also?
Church and Christianity actually have a very big role to play. From the time the person is arrested and incarcerated, the church, because rehabilitation starts from the time the person is incarcerated. The church has a role to play in going in and showing the love of Christ to the inmates, teaching them the word. Most of them, some of them, not all of them, some of them will actually then repent and see the error of their ways and fear God, because the fear of God is what causes a person to be transformed.
Okay.
There's no other thing. Sometimes laws can be passed and whatever, but without God, many people then don't quite reform. So the church has a role to play in understanding that all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God.
Okay.
We might not have committed crimes, that can send us to prison, but according to God's laws, we have transgressed, we have lied, we have committed adultery. There are many things that people have done, but God has forgiven us. So for us to understand that, okay, while these people have sinned against the state or the communities, but according to God, they've also, they deserve to be freely forgiven by grace. They need to know that Christ can forgive them by grace, and they can change their lives. They don't have to live as criminals all their lives. Right. And also by, just showing them that love of Christ.
Okay, those are powerful words, Auntie Stella. So in summing up, what recommendations or any word of advice that you can give, maybe to the society, to the church, or other stakeholders like yourself?
First of all, I would like to thank ZPCS for the way they've actually opened their doors for churches to come in and minister, for the way they have, accepted us and, given us permission to go into prisons. And also the way they've partnered with us. Because sometimes in many of their programs or in this reintegration and rehabilitation, there are times when they ask us to come on board to assist, so my recommendations to other organizations is to say, let's not leave these people at the door. So there are some organizations that go into prison maybe to assist with some social and health issues, to fill in the gaps which maybe the ZPCS is not able to fill, like giving soap and whatever, but then they leave it there. We must know that these people are one day going to come out of prison. So we need to create a relationship with them while they are still in prison, so that when they come out, they are not strangers to us. They will know exactly where to go. If a church has been going into prisons and somebody is released, they will know that if I go to such and such a church, I will be accepted, I will be received, and I will get all the help that I can. So to all the churches out there, it is good for us, to continue with these people while they are incarcerated and when they have been released. Societies, we keep on encouraging to say, look, if somebody has been rehabilitated, give them another chance. Give them another chance and love them into good behavior, if I may say this loosely. Because if immediately you say to somebody, I hate you because you've done this, they don't have any incentive to be good. They will keep on doing what they've been doing because they say, what's the point? But if we love them sort of into good behavior and show them the love of Christ, and also helping for all those employers out there to give ex-inmates another chance. Yes, especially in employment, and also some of the things that we've been crying out for is the biggest employer in this country is the government, but they don't accept. So things like that.
Thank you very much, Miss Auntie Stella or Mrs. Mavhengere. Okay, so that was Auntie Stella was enlightening us, educating us, and inspiring us.